This time on Roadkill, we're at Driven Garage in Oakland, California, and we've got Finnegan's new dream car, a '66 Corvette.
Hadn't seen the road since 1993, but in 5 days, we're doing burnouts. It's time to scratch another one off my bucket list. Oh, I'm so excited about this. We are in Oakland, California, home of Driven Garage. My friend Jeff Gates, who you might remember is the guy that was responsible probably for all 24 of our laps at the 24 Hours of Lemons in the ROTC.
Big group.
So, Driven Garage, we do resto mods, customs, repairs, upgrades.
And the building here is cool. It's like an old steel plant or something like that. It's got lots of ambiance.
Yeah.
And he has been storing this 1966 Corvette for about 6 months.
You gotta see the photos of this thing before Mike bought it. It's absurd.
Yeah, so the story is owner number 1 sold it to owner number 2. Owner number 2 cut all of the C2 body off of it and made it a C3 Corvette, which is just wrong. And then the last owner converted it back to a C2 and then abandoned the project halfway through an LS swap. So this hasn't moved in decades, and we have 5 days to do wiring, plumbing, brakes, tires, everything, making this car run and drive after sitting for more than 30 years.
Let's wrench.
We got this.
I have no fear. It'll get done.
So here's my plan for this car. Someday, this Corvette is gonna go in the 7s at a drag and drive event like Hot Rod Drag Week. In the meantime, I just needed to run and drive. I bought it because it was the cheapest car I could find. These things are stupid expensive, and I needed one with a title, with a VIN number. I needed an actual Corvette to build. And stumbled upon this. It had been in the midst of a rotisserie restoration.
All right, I think I can get it.
I am feeling so much better about this whole deal already because owner number 3, David Hernandez, not only did he fix the bodywork, but he restored the chassis.
All right, we're all the way up. Let's get a look, see what we're dealing with.
Oh, this thing's clean.
Yeah, looks like they restored this and put the body on.
Look, the half shafts are in it already.
Yep. Aftermarket, whatever those are called.
We need to nut and bolt it for sure because all the jam nuts are backed out.
New gas tank. Is this a 700 or a 4L?
4L60, allegedly.
4L60, yeah.
That's worse, because it means we have to wire it.
Well, that ECU is supposed to control this thing.
Yeah.
All right, exhaust, fuel lines, O2 sensors, trans wiring, starter wiring.
Oh, this is battery cable. That's
Starter or alternator, one or the other.
tie rods are loose.
The whole thing is powder coated. All the brake lines are new, all the bushings, the suspension components, it's all new. Our plan here is to connect the headers to the side pipes, run the fuel lines, wire the trans, fix the seat mounts because they're breaking through the fiberglass floor, connect a shift linkage, dashboard gauges, wire the entire car. And then after that, I mean, who knows? The world is our oyster at that point.
Look, I'm working on a Corvette. We're installing parts that we found, which actually there's a lot.
Yeah.
First up, fuel line. There we go, clicked on. How many guys does it take to snap a fuel line onto a fitting?
All of them. Boom.
Boom. Those guys are back there finishing up the fuel lines and stuff. I thought I would just walk around do a nut and bolt check because everything on this car is like not tight enough for my standards.
Lots of things look like they're done, but they're really not. Like that exhaust pipe's dangling from chicken wire and it's not connected to the header. And every fastener on the car that looks tight is just kind of cinched so that the washer's flattened, but it's not actually tight.
So we're gonna make some fender washers for underneath the car. The bottom of the car is fiberglass, and where the seats bolt through, the fiberglass is cracking. We've gotta plate it so that it doesn't crack even more or send Mike flying through the windshield should something happen. So I'm gonna cut them on our CNC plasma cutter, which makes things quick and easy. Pretty clean cut. This is what we're making here. Just a big, giant fender washer. Work.
We don't trust the bolts that are holding the differential center section for the factory independent rear suspension. So what we've done here is taken out the bolts that hold the diff cross member to the car, and we're using the jack to pick the body up off of that cross member so that we can get a wrench up in the top and hope to tighten those bolts right there.
Much like everything else on this car, the exhaust was kind of for demonstration purposes. It had one side pipe just kind of dangling. The other one was missing completely. Basically, we got to build the whole exhaust. And then once that's done, I think the car can come down and we can start on the top side. We're doing good.
Yeah, we're moving.
So we spent most of our day chopping, cutting, TIG welding. That's right, TIG welding, because all they have here is stainless, just the good stuff. And now we're to the end of the exhaust where Freiburger was going to MIG weld the side pipes to the down pipes we made. And once he does that, these go on the car goes on the ground, and we start getting to the fun part. Wiring, plumbing, and we're that much closer to hearing it run. I'm still thinking Tuesday, like it happens.
Really?
Yeah, today's Sunday. It's 2 days from now. We got this. I'm gonna be on fire, I'm moving, I'm Harry. All right, pretty good.
That is on.
Yeah.
Cool. Everything is loose. Everything is loosened. Everything falls apart when you're part of a team. This thing has so many loose fasteners that when we touch them and tighten them, I'm marking it with a paint pen. That way we can, at a glance, know what somebody has actually addressed and what needs to be worked on.
I feel good. How do you feel, Dave?
I feel like we, right at the end, made more progress than I felt like we had so far. So I feel good.
The only thing left on the bottom of the car is the shifter. So tomorrow will be wiring, plumbing, radiator, shifter, pedals, all the things.
It turns out that our day one was actually a day and a half, so we're calling this day two. I guess today what we're gonna do is, first of all, drop a battery in it, and then we're gonna try and make the engine at least crank, or do you want run?
I think we can crank.
Okay.
I appreciate that they put the battery in the worst place possible.
Yeah, that's not handy.
No way that went in.
You're getting there.
Dude.
That's a bam. Done.
Get the New Balances and the shorts out. I'm a Corvette guy. I just put a battery in one.
Let's test fit that other tire.
Okay. This Corvette has 20-inch wheels and tires on it, which obviously is way bigger than what would have come from the factory. So the tires are really close to the fiberglass valance here. And when you try to make left-hand turns, this tire hits this. So you can't make a U-turn in the car. It's not going to be good. So we need to downsize the wheel. However, the tie rod is really close to the wheel here. So if you downsize the wheel without changing the back spacing and offset, you're gonna have a clearance problem here. So to make sure we don't screw this up when we buy new wheels, we're going to steal a wheel off of that Camaro over there, which is a much nicer car, and test fit it on that car. So we had 20 by 9s, and these are 235, 40, 18. So we have a 255, 20. So this should be smaller. Let's see what we get. Sits out further, which means this might be a problem if the car sat lower, but does it clear the tie rod?
It's pretty darn close.
So let's measure this one. Okay, so that's a 5-inch backspace wheel. And you said it was 8.5 wide?
Yep. Back spacing is a measurement from the inner lip to the wheel mounting surface. The deeper the back spacing, the more inboard the tire moves. The shallower the back spacing, the more outboard it moves.
Let me look up on his work order what the exact measurements on this are so that we're not guessing.
All right, I've broken the seal, digging into the wiring harness that was already in the car for the ECM and everything. Fortunately, It's an aftermarket deal and most of the wires are labeled. I think what we're going to do is just sort of hot wire the whole thing. We're gonna put the ignition wire over there. Maybe we're gonna even run a wire to the fuel pump and see if we can make it just boom, have some sense of if it runs or not before we go into the full-on wiring. This is gonna be trying to crank it for the very first time.
Here we go.
Whoa, that's similar to life.
Wow.
Go again?
Okay, it's not seized up.
Yeah. Not bad?
Let's put gas in it.
Yeah. Now we get to put gas in it. We already know the fuel pump runs, and we'll hook up this ignition wire, and if everything's great, it should fire up.
I don't hear it hitting the floor. That's good news. Look, no leaks.
Yeah,
It's
actually functional.
It's not on the ground.
Right. It could run right now.
We have no cooling system, no brakes, no shifter.
It's all right.
But if it makes noise.
That's all that matters.
The last time this car was on the road was 1993.
Here, let me pump it a little bit to start. There you go. Here we go. We get fuel up here yet? That's clicking the fuel relay. Nothing. Nothing.
How about now?
Nope.
Something up here is happening.
Yeah, it's clicking the relay over there. How come it...
Nah, I hear something flowing up here.
Oh, you're right. Do it again?
Ready? We'll try it again.
That's disappointing. I never heard it pump.
You heard it earlier, though, right?
I heard it earlier when there was no gas in the tank, but now I don't hear it. The pump's not pumping. Ooh, I see.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Yep, it's doing something.
Okay, I'm gonna crank it again.
Wait, there we go. Dude, that's running.
That is running.
Do it again. There, now we got oil to the lifter. Got oil. All right. It's got no water in it. Yeah, it was running bad. I wanted to hear the oil come to the lifters, which it did.
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a major, major hurdle.
Now we wire it for real.
Yeah.
Shifter and figure out a cooling system. Oh, and the brakes. Dude.
Win.
We're gonna drive this.
Yep. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Well, the engine runs, and so I made the to-do list. It's not as simple as it looks because it includes things like rewire the entire car from scratch. Those guys are working on the steering column. I'm working on the brakes, and one of the workers here at Driven Garage is gonna work on wiring. This car originally had power brakes, which is why there's 4 studs in the firewall here, but we're gonna convert it to manual, and we're gonna use this Wilwood master cylinder. Fortunately, the spread of these 2 studs is the same as on the master, so I was able to just get it to work just fine like that.
Well, right now, Freiburger's wrapping up the brakes. Ross is in the car wiring. Jeff is working on, I think, the gas pedal. I'm gonna install the shifter because it's the one thing I can do where I'm not in anybody's way right now. Really motivated because the car ran, which blew my mind because I didn't know if it would. We don't know anything about the motor. But we know it makes noise and it runs, so that's good news. So our new shifter is really good. It's made for this car. However, this car has a 4L60 in it, not a 327 with a power glide combo. And so the shift arm hits the fiberglass transmission tunnel. We don't want to modify the fiberglass transmission tunnel, so we're just going to modify the shift arm and hope the geometry is still okay. I think it will be. There we go. Cement.
It's been 4 hours. Shifter is done, master cylinder is done, and Ross is getting a whole bunch of stuff done on wiring. Don't have parts, don't have parts. Could bleed brakes, don't have parts, don't have parts. Engine not running, not yet. Could screw the headlights in.
Those don't make it run, though.
Well, yeah, when there's nothing else to do.
There's food.
There's food.
Dustin loves when I talk about food.
Yeah.
To end a scene.
Whee!
What day is it?
Day 3, which is in fact 3.5.
Okay. I feel good. It cranks, it runs.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop, but the brakes are in and plumbed. And we're gonna start out today with putting the dashboard in and mocking up the steering column. And this will be the first moment I haven't sat in the driver's seat yet. It's my first C2 Corvette experience.
It's very Fiero-ish.
And
It's very hard for big, giant gorillas to get into.
all right, hold on, I need to make the seat go back, because
You're all the way back. It's a Corvette, homie.
that's it?
Now the car's getting smaller as we put more parts on it.
There we go. That's it. That's where it goes.
This is so cool.
Here comes
looking.
column.
Oh, geez. Your cluster's made of dark matter. Here's your first lightning scheme here.
All right. How close are you to the mounting bolt?
He's pretty close. He's right on it, actually.
Oh, and this has the adapter on it for that wheel.
This is the wheel for this car.
This needs a double D welded to it, though.
We can cut and just weld a stub of it on there.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll be golden.
Important things happening right now. Car is still continued being wired. Freiburger is over there doing, I think, door handles right now, which is always a good thing to have. And right now, Jeff and I are modifying a stock steering column to connect to a late model box. And Jeff cut me this nifty piece of tubing. So we're gonna TIG weld that to that, and then this will go into a Borgeson aftermarket universal joint that goes right onto our box. Maybe a little wobbly.
A little bit, but
We could test fit it, and then if we like the length, we can come back over here and just tap it straight and then burn it.
This car is like a big giant model kit. It's unbelievable how the past owner bought everything new, partially assembled it, labeled it all we have to do is assemble. And Ross is in there making wiring happen. This car is gonna have all of the lights functional. He claims he's gonna make the gas gauge work and even the clock. Mike and I are installing headlights, which is gonna make this car actually look like a car. And I installed the grille. Looks great. Whoosh. Whoosh. We're waiting for parts that actually make the car run and drive, and in the meantime, we're making stuff fancy. Door handles, Mike's doing windows. All so pro, so resto, so Bloomington Gold.
your sword, sir.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to get it lined up into the shaft. I'm almost there. There we go. Sweet.
In there?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will loosely attach this and then put the cluster in.
Put the cluster in, then we'll push it back just a hair.
Okay. Try to do this without scratching the heck out of it.
Beautiful.
Boom.
Good job.
These are our new wheels. The reason the fronts should work better is we have downsized the tire significantly, which is going to give us more room between the fiberglass and the tire. We've also reduced the back spacing by 1/2 inch, which is going to push the wheel out, which would give us problems with the fender, except we made the new wheels 1 inch narrower. So it's a narrower wheel that is pushed out away from the car. That means it's going to clear the ball joints and the tie rods here, which was the first problem we had. The back tire is just a little taller and a little wider. Dude, I think these are gonna clear. 1 finger between the tie rod and the tire.
Okay.
We are good.
Good. How about between the fender and the tire?
Oh, it's not even close. Look at that.
That's my worry. No, here.
Oh, I think we're gonna be all right. It goes good with the primer, too.
Yeah, it's like a match. It's metallic primer color.
We're getting good at this car styling thing.
Stink bug.
It sits like a truck.
Yeah. You could pull some top leaves.
So we just got the new wheels and tires on the car. I love the wheels. The stance of the car, I don't like at all. And it's been exaggerated by the fact that we've got smaller tires on the back. So what I'm gonna do is remove probably half the leaf springs in this car. And that will lower this thing at least 1 inch here. That'll do 2 things. It'll make the gap between the body and the fender smaller. The car will look better. But more importantly, it will level out the half shafts, which will make the U-joints a little happier because they're at a pretty extreme angle right now. So here we go. Whoa, okay. Driver, I'm getting roadkilled. This bolt goes into the diff and holds the fluid. I'm gonna need something here. And then I tried to put it back in and it flung it everywhere.
Wow. The spring isn't gonna separate from the diff until you pry it.
Okay. This is gonna try to fall down here.
Right.
Okay, here we go.
Whoa! There was a lot of pressure on that.
There's a lot of pressure on that.
Yeah.
Okay, you all
That
right?
was scary. We're trying to lower the back of the car, and it's been sort of a mess. We tried to get some leaf springs out of the leaf, which we've done, but in doing that, we've sproinged it really scary and almost like dropped the car on ourselves and hit ourselves in the face with the spring and stuff. We're trying to get it back together now after having removed some leaf springs. And these guys are really struggling with the rear end.
It's stuck on the diff itself right here, is what it is. Hot stuff. Done.
All right, we're putting this in.
Yay!
All right. That's safe enough for my standards.
Yeah, you keep flattening it. Yeah, look at that.
Careful, dude. This goes on the bottom, the bushing goes on the top, and then the nut goes on, right?
There you go.
Yep.
There we go.
Whoa, that's what I was afraid of. This has been one of the more educational roadkills for me.
I'm learning a lot. It's gonna be a damn shame when we let it down and it's too low.
And then just gorilla it like that.
Whoa, I was gonna say, don't touch it till he's done.
I gotta get a better purchase on it.
There you go. Hold, hold, hold,
geez.
hold. Don't kill.
Okay, okay.
I have it. 4 seconds.
Oh, God. Don't scare it. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. There you go. Ha ha. That was a lot of work. Let's hope it worked.
All right, you got it?
I got it.
Come on, baby. Come on.
It's slowly coming down. Okay.
Oh, there's no shocks. I was like, why is
There's
it so
no
bouncy?
shocks.
There's no shocks.
Is the tire gonna clear the fender?
Oh, yeah.
It'll come down when it rolls, too, just like a front suspension needs to come down when it rolls.
Dude, it looks way better, though.
It does look way better.
I like the stance.
Yeah.
You know, the tires might rub when we go down the road, but I know it didn't make the car run, but thank you for humoring me. Appreciate it.
Anytime, buddy.
You know what? The half shafts are not bound up now. That's a big win.
Yeah. Oh, they look so much more happy. Dinner? Here?
Yeah. And the thing is, I've got to cut out because I'm going on a giant personal vacation adventure. So I'm going to abandon Finnegan, like, pretty much as soon as I can come up with an excuse to do so.
I really thought when the leaf string exploded in our faces, that was gonna be your excuse to get out of here.
Nah.
You handled it well. I'm putting cotter pins in. This is done.
Done.
All right.
Day 4.5, list version 3.0, and they're cutting holes in the roof over here, so that's what you're listening to. Here's what we have to do. Rear shocks, because the old one hits the frame. Alignment, bleed the brakes, bleed the power steering, that's easy. Throttle pedal cable, a mass airflow tube and filter. Radiator hoses and water mics working on now. Trans dipstick, that's on me. Trans cooler needs to happen, and then we'll install the hood. And wiring, that's Ross's problem. We don't even care. He's just making it happen. So this might actually turn into a drivable car today or tomorrow.
So this radiator came from a company called Entropy. They are out of Illinois, and they specialize in LSX swaps. This is a direct fit for a C2 Corvette. The top mount is different than what the original mount was in this car, so we'll have to deal with that there.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah, this is good. The radiator hoses are on the right side of the motor.
Yep.
This should be money, and more importantly, we have room
Yes.
to turn out there.
Oh, good call.
Yeah,
You're right.
We have all kinds of room to go there.
After all of that drama last night, taking the leaf spring apart and lowering the car and making it look really cool, making Mike really happy, it's gonna rub over here really badly as soon as we get in the car. So we're gonna be delusional right now and install our new shock absorber to see if that solves the problem. And when it doesn't, we'll be back under here, taking this all apart, hopefully not dying and putting springs in.
What if you only ride on this side of the car because there's more clearance?
What are you trying to say?
I'm gonna get away from you with that shock in your hand.
That's gonna hit, isn't it?
Wow, when we align it, it will.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Don't align it. Well, yeah, look, it's going flat.
Yeah. All right, let's put 2 of the springs back in.
I'm glad we didn't cut that bolt.
Yep. This spring is way too flat and soft now. We're gonna have to put some springs back in it. This is a fail. Can we say we told you so?
Redoing work. It happens, but we told them so.
Jeff and I are going, we told you so. Let me see how wide they go based on what springs we're adding. All good. Spring's done. We put 2 more leaves back in it, so it's 2 leaves more heavier now. Let's see if it helps the ride height. Okay.
Oh, it's so high now.
It's a truck again. Oh my God. Well, so now what happens if we put 2 dudes and some luggage in there and some tools?
I'll show you right now what happens. Dave, would you like to hang from this with me?
Oh,
And this is all the way in the back.
sits perfect.
This should be the last thing that we touch. We should make it run and drive, and if it doesn't settle, then you address it.
Okay.
If you just want to hold the top bolt right now,
We're ready. Go for it.
I'm gonna put my plate through it.
So right now, we're installing the gas pedal, thanks to Jeff, because he just hurried up and whipped out 2 doubler plates. And that's a plate that goes on each side of the firewall, sandwiches it together so that when you install bolts through something like a gas pedal and you tighten them really tight, the bolts don't try to pull through the firewall, which is fiberglass. The metal plates just distribute the force across a wider area.
I like that.
It's finally day 5. You made promises
Yes, I did.
to you, the audience.
I feel good about this. There's not much left to do. We need to bleed the brakes, install a transcooler, align it. I'm feeling so confident that right now we're putting fuzzies in the doors for the windows.
When did you see that on Roadkill?
We have them. We might as well put them in. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do it with a hammer, but
I did make the doors work. Look. Yes. It even locks.
well, I'm stuck. We're waiting for the transmission cooler. We're waiting for the parts to build the air intake tube. So I thought I'd just start bolting some of the other random parts we have for this car because it came with a lot of stuff. It came with some of the rear bumper, some of the front bumper, none of which I understand to install. So I consulted the Oracle once again, which is this manual with line drawings in it for assembling the car. But it's really not helpful because this is how many bolts hold the front bumper together. All of that. Hey, Freiburger. I need help. Okay, let me get the other side. Okay, go up.
Okay. There we go. Technically, the only thing we need to run and drive is this, taping the MAF to the throttle body because the tubes we ordered aren't going to get here, and bleeding the brakes. So I'm going to install the transcooler. Finally, bleeding brakes. We're gonna do it a little bit differently than I normally do it on Roadkill Garage. If you ever see Dulcich and I like sitting there and pumping the pedal forever, we're gonna open all of the bleeder screws, let it gravity feed for a little while, and then Jeff has got like this super suction doohickey that is gonna help pull the fluid through and hopefully make quick work of this. I've got the front bleeders open and I'm moving to the back. Going down.
I believe it would run as soon as we put fluid in the radiator.
I'm plugging a hole in the radiator, just a pipe plug. Mike is putting a set screw in the steering column, then we'll put water in it, and theoretically, we'll be ready to try and drive this thing for the first time. Well, we fired it up off camera in order to get the coolant to go in the thing, and unfortunately, the engine doesn't run very good, and we hooked up our OBD2 reader, found out our problem is there was no inlet air temperature sensor at all, the IAT. And so I'm hoping that that helps solve the thing. We just plug it in and let it dangle. It'll do something other than have just an empty wire there. Maybe I'll tape it to the manifold or stuff it right there. When you listen to this side versus that side, it's not the same.
These ones are all firing on this side.
Yeah, now come over here.
We've got at least one dead hole over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not happy over here.
Yeah. The engine doesn't run right. It's running on 6 cylinders.
So an MST wire normally is about 40 ohms a foot. This is 6 inches long, so 29 ohms. That seems fine. These are okay. What if we got dead plugs in there?
Here's our last half hour. Engine runs like doo-doo. We install new inlet air temp sensor, doesn't really fix it. Jeff breaks out his super Zamma Jamma gun right there for thermal imaging, realizes these 2 cylinders aren't really firing. We start to diagnose it a little bit. Ross spots that there's 2 wires in the coil plug wiring harness that are reversed. And so this is going to be the moment of truth where we fire it up and see if Ross fixed it. Yes. That is fixed.
It's way better.
Yep. Can tell immediately.
Oh, yeah.
2 of the coil unplugged coils were firing at the wrong time. Great work, Ross. That was great.
Let's go do burnouts now.
Let's go do burnouts now.
Awesome.
Ready?
Red eye. I even got the hat.
Oh, dude. Let's see. I think that's lights. Yes.
Dash lights work.
Oh, man.
Ross is really good, actually. All right, does it go in gear? No.
Oh, weird. We have a 4L60 with 4 neutrals.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Let me check the fluid scenario again. That's not good.
No gear?
We got into drive away and put it in gear, and there was no gear. And unfortunately, I would say there is transmission fluid in it. That trans doesn't seem to be working.
Oh my God. Is there a torque converter in there?
Is there a torque converter in there at all? Pick it up. Let's have a look.
What if there's no converter in this transmission? The entire car was assembled for mock-up.
Uh-huh.
What if he just bolted the bell housing to the motor and there's no converter in there?
We got in the Corvette to drive away for the very first time, and the only satisfaction that we got out of that is this hat.
We were only trying to do burnouts. Imagine if we were trying to go somewhere.
There's the torque converter, and it's bolted on.
This motor and trans came out of a wrecking yard, allegedly out of a car that was totaled, but only had 18,000 miles on it. This hasn't run since '98.
It has a torque converter. It has torque converter bolts. We're gonna run it through the gears a little bit more and just keep adding fluid until something happens, like a fire. That is nothing burger. We're pouring in exactly the amount that it takes to make this car move.
You want to fire it up, Mike, and run it through gears?
Sure.
That trans doesn't do anything.
This is not a complete surprise. It was a stick shift car to begin with. We could make it that again. That was full. I'd say that's over full. So the Corvette doesn't want to move. We have tried putting more fluid in it. We have tried moving the shifter to every gear. All we have are 4 forward neutrals. And so now, car's up in the air. We are now pulling the pan off to see, is there something physically wrong with this thing? Because it's not pumping fluid.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
The only thing left is converter not seated in the pump, but that's highly unlikely since he did get it bolted together.
Uh-huh.
It's a new day, and therefore we have a new list. And first thing on that list is Trade Davids. That's right. Freiburger's gone. He is actually on vacation, which blows my mind because he never takes vacations. And so Newbern is here because he knows a lot about 4L60s, allegedly. And clearly we had big problems with ours yesterday because no matter what we did, no matter how much fluid we put in it, I still had 4 neutrals. So today, first thing we're gonna do, lift the car back up, pull the trans, find out, is the torque converter not actually all the way seated in there? And did that destroy all the clutch packs? Because we let it run for half an hour trying to make it move.
Damn, this thing's nice.
So right now what we're doing is we're gonna attempt to slide the transmission backwards just a little bit rather than remove it all the way. This might give us just enough room so we can put our hands on the torque converter and see if we can spin it and shove it further in the transmission, engaging the fluid pump. If we can do that, cool. We can put it all back together and see if it works. The danger here is that we ran the car for like half an hour, burping the cooling system and trying to find a gear that actually worked. And when you run a trans for that long without the pump moving, there's a good chance we've smoked the clutches in the transmission, which means it needs to either be repaired or replaced. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to pull the trans out.
Okay. Man, it's already out, so yeah.
Well, that did not work. We couldn't get a good enough grip on the converter to shove it in the trans. So trans is now coming all the way out so that we can see if we can get it to shove all the way back in. It does feel like there's a load on it.
I mean, maybe that's all it really needed was just a little push and a wiggle.
So right now we pulled the converter out to see if we can see how many times it actually, clicks into position. We think it's just not going far enough, but I don't know. We're about to find out, I guess. And we can't get the transmission down any further because the drive shaft is stuck in the car.
We could probably undo this U-joint if we need to.
Oh, like pull the U-joint loose?
Yeah, like just take these caps off and...
Okay. There you go. Now go up. All right, go. Oh, got it. Sweet.
How to take out a Corvette transmission. Be really sketchy about it.
We know our transmission is completely smoked. I called the folks at GearStar and said, hey, what happens when you run an engine for 20, 30 minutes without the torque converter all the way installed? And they said, you smoke the pump in the trans. And I said, okay. And I looked at Jeff and I said, Jeff, we need a transmission, like now. And Jeff said, you can have mine. So we're taking his. And if I'm gonna borrow or steal someone's transmission, it might as well be a GearStar, because that's what he's got sitting right over here. We have a level 4 4L60. We're gonna verify this because there's a couple of variants of that trans, but I'm pretty sure it will fit in our car. And when it does, we will be doing burnouts. This is a level 4 4L60 transmission from GearStar Performance. This trans is built to withstand 600 foot-pounds of torque, 600 horsepower. I don't know what parts are inside of it, but I do know there is a billet GearStar 2800 RPM stall converter at the front of it. And over the past 19 years, I've lost track of the number of GearStar transmissions I've put in hot rods and trucks. I like them, they work, and this is the fix for our Corvette right now. Okay, go forward.
Try go up a little further now.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yep.
Oh, we're making it happen.
Okay.
Corvettes are kind of hard to work on. All right, here we go.
Okay, we're almost there.
Well, we're getting roadkill here. Brand new transmission. It's a 4L60. It's got a lot of high performance parts, like a billet servo. And our old servo was flush with the side of the case. This one sticks out about, I'd say, 3/4 of an inch, which means it's hitting the floor of our car. Normally, I would just bash the floor of the car because roadkill, except the floor of this car is fiberglass, so I can't bash it. I would just put a hole in it.
So we got to try and get this tranny down just a little bit So what I've done is I've taken the original tranny mount, I've drawn up a little plate to replace this piece, and then we found an old body bushing for like a Chevelle or something like that. We're kind of replacing this with this and a piece that I'm gonna cut on the CNC plasma cutter.
There's the impact.
There we go, baby. There you go. You treat me right now.
This is the moment. All the work, all the thrashing, all the unknown, because it's a Corvette and we don't know what we're doing, comes down to this. Does our new transmission move? Let's find out. Let's try reverse. Oh, we got reverse. All right, neutral. All right, now drive. Oh, we have drive, dude.
Let's just warm up the trans and shift it through a few gears so we can check the level.
Yeah. Reverse. Neutral drive. I think it's working. We're gonna go do burnouts. Oh man, that sounds good. Reverse, neutral, drive.
This is cool. I love the dash in these cars.
Oh, dude, the dash is incredible. Oh, it's spunky. It's very spunky. Oh, whoa. What's a heck of a downshift? There's a lot of, oh my God, there's a lot of new things in here. We're airing it out.
Wow.
This is the first time this car's been on any road.
Are the wheels tight?
I don't know. Did you tighten them?
I didn't put them on.
Oh.
The other David did.
Oh. I'm sure he did a good job of that. Ish.
I guess we'll find out, huh?
Dude, that's awesome. This thing's great. Oh my God. I can't see.
Oh,
I
God.
can't smell. Oh, dude, this thing does killer burnouts.
So if you're gonna do another burnout, pull it in first, then shift it in a second, because they keep trying to like upshift and downshift.
Yep. Wow, it leaves a good patch. Look at that.
All right, let's let it eat.
Okay, here we go. Dude, I can't see nothing.
I think you should probably stop. Look. Oh, God.
It makes a lot of smoke. I'm gonna keep Wow, Corvettes do great burnouts.
Man, I like it.
Thank you, Gear Star, for building an awesome transmission that has forward gears and reverse.
How's the temps? Everything looking good?
The last time we checked, it was 199.
That might have been the
That was
old.
like 2 burnouts ago. Why are we smoking? Are we smoking right now?
Oh, yeah,
and we're smoking. Yeah, he's got it.
Whoa, sparks!
Oh, we're on fire.
Fire! Trying to disconnect the battery. Ah, it's hot.
Oh, it's the starter.
Ah, hurry up. Ross, we need something to cut the battery
Grab
cable.
my phone. Bounce the Corvette to the ground.
Water. Ah! Battery cables, we gotta cut them.
Here.
Water.
Here.
Okay, battery cable's cut.
Okay.
Okay, that was exciting.
All right, dude.
Yeah, I'll be all right. And it's gonna hurt a little bit later.
Thank you for saving the car. Okay, well, that's it for this episode of Roadkill. That's just how it goes. You know, you throw a car together in 6 days and you don't get very far. But we did do burnouts, which was the goal.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll fix it, and maybe you'll see that on a future episode of Roadkill.
You know what's fun while it lasted?
Wow. Almost lost the car. You know, we always say, oh, God, I hope we don't lose the shot. We literally almost lost the car. All right, Smokey. We just named the car. Thanks for the water.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Oh, boy. That's my first electrical fire on Roadkill. Oh, God, 12-volt Dave was here. No wonder why this thing caught on fire.
How existential is this? I'm watching Roadkill. Wow. Watching Roadkill. This is the rough cut of the 6-week episode. So while we're shooting this episode, we're reviewing our last adventure.
You know what I just found out recently?
Huh.
Most people on car TV shows don't get to do what you're doing.
Oh, no way.
They just film it and then it comes out and hope it's, you know, correct.
Yeah, no, we're super lucky to be able to like review episodes and make sure they're cool.
Up in the sun.